What's going on, guys? Apex here, back with another Destiny 2 video, the second one on the day. And today we're actually finally getting to that PvP tips video I've been mentioning in the past, in my past couple of videos. So now we are finally getting to it. I know it's taken a while, but it's here. I promise it's here. So this time I talked about, last time I talked about PvP tips for a solo player. This time I'm going to be talking about PvP tips for a team player. So this is going to be for if you're running in a team, general tips for you and your team just in general. So feel free to share this with your teammates, use it, and in the background gameplay you'll see that it works. I believe we ended up going maybe 70 to maybe just barely double digits, maybe 20 tops probably. Somewhere around there. We just stomped these guys, and it was also a team of 4 on their side. So let's get into it. So tip number 1 for me is if you're playing on a team, then you should have obviously communication. You want strong, good, solid communication if you're playing in a team, especially if it's trials, but I will be getting into that on another video, a later PvP tips video. So communication, what do I mean by communication? Well, it means communicate. If you get somebody weak like I just did right there, I'm calling out to MZ that he's weak in that hallway. So MZ decides to take off and go after him. He's gone, so he comes back and he's telling me this the whole time. Now I start pushing because MZ dropped back. The teams that I generally run with, we have 2 people pushing and usually 2 people sitting back, and we rotate that role like quite often. As you can see, I have a buddy with me right now if you look at the radar, and then those 2 push up, I drop back, and then we just basically keep rotating it. And we do this so that we can control the spawns a little bit, especially in control. Right now, obviously on this map we're trying to hold A and B, so we like to have 2 people back, especially because there's a clear advantage to having A and B versus having C on this particular map. So we like to do that, and we communicate it at all times, whether or not we want to push, stay back, holding spawn, pursuing a guy, calling out whether or not a guy's hurt, etc. You can start to get the point. So communication is huge. That's one way that we use communication. The teams that I'm usually on, my sweat teams at least. If I'm just playing casually, I won't make constant call outs, and I won't expect other people to make constant call outs. But in this particular match that you're watching, we are, sweating. We're trying to sweat, we're trying to stomp, we're trying to steamroll. And as you can see, they're all kind of just pushing. So there's only 2 of them left, so we all just kind of pushed, and then I ended up dropping back just to make sure we kept that spawn for when other players joined in, which is going to get me to my next topic, is controlling the battlefield. So on your team, you have good solid communication. As a team, you need to focus on controlling a map. Map control is one of the biggest things in Destiny 2, especially with how team shot based this game is. If you can get lanes and lock down certain lanes and control them very well, you will not lose a game. If you have constant map control, especially over power ammo, and you just don't allow the other team to get power ammo hardly at all, then you're probably going to win the game. So to practice map control with the team, you kind of just want to it's kind of just a feel thing. You'll know whether or not you have good map control based on where your teammates are and where you are. And what I mean by that is if you're too far separated, you will be able to tell because you won't be getting the team shots that you need to slay, and the spawns will get messed up, spawning the enemy behind you, beside you, etc. As you can see, we won by 70 to 8. So our method really does work with this specific team, but it does take a lot of I'd call it practice, I guess, to run with a team, get to know that team really well, and get to know each other's play styles. I'm really pushy. I like to rush, get a lot of kills, run with Anio, Blast Hope, etc. Shotguns, that type of thing, and my team knows that. So they know that I like to push, and even sometimes they have to tell me to stop doing it because I sometimes mess up the spawns. I'm dropping back, but then I see a guy, I'm like, oh, I'm going to push him instead, when in all reality my other two guys are already on him, and I need to drop back to control the spawns like I was saying in my previous tip. So I guess that's as much as I have to say on that. But moving on to the next tip, probably the final tip as well. I'm kind of just doing this off the top of my head, which is probably the reason why this video might sound a little bit rambling. I'm trying to push out as much content as I can right now. There's a lot of new stuff going on in the world of Destiny, so I want to get that to you guys as well. So the last tip I have for you is to have some diversity with the weapon choices, with your weapons in general. You don't want everyone on your team to have the same ranged weapons, and this is why. If you all have, let's say, oh man, I was gonna say Mida, but that's not really a good weapon choice. Let's say Nameless Midnight. It's not the most competitive. You probably aren't all running Nameless Midnight anyway. But if you all have Nameless Midnight and say another scout or an auto rifle in your secondary, then you're only gonna be good at one range, long range. Nameless Midnight is good at long range, and if you have an auto, you can do long to medium range. But if your whole team's running that, and I only say this because I've seen it before, I've seen it quite a bit actually. A lot of teams, especially in trials, they all run the same exact things, and I usually stomp them. And this is why. If I know that they have these specific weapons, then I'm going to stay out of that specific range, and I'm going to change my weapons accordingly. So I'm going up against Nameless Midnight and let's say Uriel's Gift. Well then, I'm going to put on Last Hope, Hero's Burden, any submachine gun, Antiope, and I'm going to rush you. And sure, Uriel's, you're going to be able to pull off some kills close range here and there. But if I'm pushing you, shade stepping to you on my way there, jumping, sliding, you're not going to kill me before I get to you with the Antiope, Last Hope, Heroes, etc. So if you have diversity within your team and your team firing, you see someone pushing you, then a person can switch to a more close range weapon, or say someone's falling back, retreating, and you all have Last Hopes. Yeah, it's just not like all Last Hopes and Antiopes or something like that. You're not going to be able to kill him at all, and he's going to get away. So if you have at least a little bit of diversity, at least be sure to cover all three ranges, long, medium, and short, because this will also help your team be able to push angles a little bit better, hold lanes a little bit better. If you have some long range weapons, you can hold lanes with that. If you have some short range weapons, you can have those players push a little bit easier and have better, not better, I guess have an advantage versus, say someone with a pulse rifle pushing into Last Hope submachine gun range. You don't want that. You're probably going to lose unless you're a god at hip firing and staying on target, but I'd be impressed. But I'm super sorry this video is super rambly. I tried to actually do it all in one take and I hated it, so I deleted it entirely, and now I'm doing my second one, which defeated the purpose of me trying to save time so I can get more content out for you guys. But I appreciate you watching. I will have another PvP tips video coming, I hope soon. It'll probably be after the Osiris update because I'll be playing that. I don't know, probably a week, maybe 2 weeks because of the December 12th update. We'll see what happens. I'll keep you guys updated. Follow me on Twitter at ApexNeroTV. Drop a like, comment, and if you would, please subscribe. Thank you and have a good day.